Charlie Kirk's violent passing and death has started to spark a lot of questions. It started to spark a lot of insanity and mayhem. And one of the things that I really hope truly is taken away from this for Mr. Kirk and his family is what the man was truly doing, which is the exact opposite of what is happening right now. And more importantly, I believe how mass media algorithms as such are taking what has happened to this man, who, regardless to what you think about him, I think that we can all agree nobody deserves to be assassinated for their beliefs, based on the fact that depending on where you come from, most countries do have a free speech law where you are allowed to go around and you are allowed to say certain things and you are allowed to share your beliefs. And in Mr. Kirk's, Charlie Kirk's philosophy was to get around to as many people as possible and make them, and make himself, I'm sure, in a certain way, question why it is you think the way that you do. And beyond that, why we think that it's okay to be fooled constantly, time and time again, about this ideology that there's two different sides to the human race. There's not two sides. There is simply human. That is it. And the idea that somebody can be cut down in public and then everything that happens secondary to that, up to and including, again, the mass persuasion to create division. If this isn't apparently clear, let me reference a few things that are happening as we speak. Nepal overthrowing their government. France in a state of probably disrepair. UK dragging people into the streets for their very own ideas. Canada, well, same thing happened in here, and I can say that because that's where I'm at. America, well, we got what's happening down there too. And it seems to come to this two-party idea that if you're not with us, you're against us. Now, if I was a bad dude, right, like a really bad guy, and I sat down with other people that were my friends, and I said, hey, I got an idea for taking over the world. They'd be like, what is it? And I'd say, well, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to create one side, and then I'm going to create another side. And what we're going to do is we're going to pour fuel on both of those fires. We're going to take significant people, and keep in mind, this is not the first time this is done in history. You got JFK, you got MLK, you got Rubin, I believe is the way his name is pronounced, out of Israel, where their ideas were so threatening to a certain group that they were removed. Think about that for a second. I don't like what you gotta say, so my solution is to remove and silence you permanently. Who wins in that situation? Well, now it doesn't matter which color you chose. Doesn't matter which side of the fence that you're on. What matters is you got sucked in. And more importantly than that, if you're old enough to understand what I'm saying right now, you're old enough to think these thoughts for yourself. But there's a way that this has to be done. It seems to be glaringly apparent that there is an agenda to keep us all divided, separated. It seems like this. And that's why I use these words. Because maybe it's different in some areas. And I even got caught in this loophole, this trap of thinking that it is of them against us. And in fact, when I get outside like I'm doing right now, okay, into my community, which honestly I haven't done for the better part of 6 months now, due to most of the stuff I've been seeing online, most of the stuff I've been believing, is true. And then I had to think about, why is it I'm holding myself back from experiencing life? As far as I know, we get only one. And I believe Mr. Charlie Kirk believed the exact same thing, and then he had his other beliefs. Now, even though a person has different beliefs than you, does not mean it gives you the ability to chastise them or sentence them to death. And if that is happening, the next question you should be asking is, who is benefiting from this? Because it's not me, and it's not you. And this is not the first time this has been done. I do hope it is the last. However, there's a second part to this, and I mentioned it just a minute ago. Isolation, okay? I personally isolated myself, getting caught in these rabbit holes, these social media realms, believing that what I was seeing was fact. And then I had an opportunity to actually get out of my bubble, do some traveling, go see the world. And what I realized is that people, no matter where they're from, no matter what they believe or maybe have been believing, is not the vast majority that you are being shown on social media. Most people don't have the time to stand on a picket line or in some kind of gathering, let's call it that, and just lose their mind for 24 hours or however long said rally will be, screaming about all the things that they don't have when in fact they do have them, and then putting it on to the other party and vice versa. Nobody is clean in this situation if that's how they're participating in life. If how they're participating in society is this way, how do we give any kind of hope to a younger generation? Which would lead into the second point that's been rattling around the old dome, which is, if this is in fact true, even a little bit, all right, and people have these extreme values or extreme stances, I guess, because they're certainly not values. If they were values, you'd be able to explain to me why you believe in them so much, and there would be more of that going on, focused on a solution, because this would be, in my opinion, classified as a crisis. And that's not happening. What's happening is the exasperation of the me against you, them against us, my color's red, your color's blue, and that's how it is. This is my sports team, I don't like your sports team. That means we're enemies. No, it doesn't. It just means we have a difference of opinion. Now, as humans, and supposedly the most evolved species on this planet, the secondary thought that would come to that would be, well, if I disagree with this individual and it's really affecting me this much, why is it doing that? Why is it happening? Why is my mind going this way? Well, chances are, if it's in a face-to-face, let's say, conversation, because that's what it should be, well, then you're going to get down to something that you can identify as, okay, here's a key point, I don't agree with you. However, what I do know is that you're not that much different from me. You like your sports team, you like your political party, and you support them. The average person, that's where it is. It's not this extremism that we're being fed. It's not the world is ending and the sky is falling. Here's the trick that they've been able to pull off. Maybe the greatest trick the devil has pulled yet. With social media, with the rapid pace of things, with the busying out of people, it's incredibly easy to flood their free time, which is most people picking up their phone or going onto their TV, and they just want to chill out for a minute. And that's what trying to accomplish, right? You're trying to relax, you're trying to figure out what's going on in the world. Yet what you see is the extreme fringe of society doing exactly what I talked about before. And then that is pushed and exasperated by large media companies and algorithms. Algorithms that know that this stuff will work against you, it will not work in your favor. So, if that's the case and you're aware of it, what can we do about it? Because the time of just reiterating the same old, this person's against me, I don't like them because they're part of this group with a bunch of letters, none of that really matters. Like, none of it matters to me. I don't know why it matters to anybody. Do your own thing. Do it in your own home. Have your friends, have your groups. I do. We talk about different things. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we do not agree. Sometimes I say things and somebody close to me or somebody who's not even involved in it, but it was within earshot, will express their opinion. And then that sparks a second idea of maybe I haven't thought of this all the way through. And maybe, just maybe, I'm caught in one of these loops that's benefiting somebody who is not me, who is not my family. Now, if that's the case, and we remove debate, and we remove discussion, you give power to whichever group is in charge of all of this. I don't want to name any particular group because honestly I don't know what they're called, but they definitely have to exist, because one of the oldest tricks in the book that we have right now and that we've been using for some time is that if I can keep you looking over here and then I can keep you looking over here, when do you ever get to look straight down the middle and decide, this is what I'm willing to stand up for, this is what's right, this is what's wrong? And shit, is it even happening? Because when I walk around and I say the things that I'm saying right now, even with people just passing by, nobody's stopping to confront me, nobody's screaming in my face. Now, is there a place I can pick to go find that? Yeah, absolutely. And that part is being promoted. This is the point.